welcome everybody back to 37 times 2. I am Kevin, also known as Cure, joined once again by my friends Elinix.
Hello.
And Sam over here.
Hey.
And I know, we missed last week. Everybody's wondering, where was last week's episode? Well, we got caught up in something else. What we were trying to do actually was record our summoning session with our buddy Patrick as well. We were trying to record the Legends Fest banner that we hyped up 2 weeks ago in our last podcast, but that didn't really turn out that well, did it, guys?
No.
Yeah, a bunch of all of our recordings got
difficulties,
messed
to say the
up.
least.
Yeah, so we wanted to upload that for you guys, but we pretty much scrapped it. The only person who got like good rolls was Elix over here, anyways. But we will go over what we pulled later in the podcast. But just a brief recap of what happened last week. The Tempest trials did come out. It's actually going away like as we speak. Just to date this podcast, it's going away in like 3 hours. So
what's the name of this one? I forget.
It was the Less Than Heroic Tempest trials.
Right.
I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Less Than Heroic, and featured all of the far-fetched heroes and the CYL banner units. Brave Ike was one of the bonus units, as well as the banner that we talked about with Dorcas, Loot, and Mia. It was a pretty simple Tempest trial, to be perfectly honest. I managed to auto battle L7 finally, and I think I'm gonna start doing that as long as I pull a bonus unit. I think it's definitely worth doing if you have a consistent team to do it. I was hitting up even if I failed even if my survival score was like a D, so went down to like my fourth team, I would still score like pretty decent speed and hit up like 600 points, which is like 100 points better than getting a perfect on all categories in an L5 auto battle. So that's how it went for me. But I hope you guys all got your 100k points. I didn't none of us here really tryharded that much because we had other things to do with Book 2 coming out and all of the new units, as well as the Legendary Heroes banner. But just to go over some things that we didn't cover last week, I'd like to revisit Joshua briefly, and that I think we gave Joshua a bit of a hard time just because of his awkward stat spread. Like we said, he wasn't offensive enough, and he was really weird because he just didn't have a really high attack. But I did look at the arena assault for this week, and I did think about it again, and I kind of thought about it. I was just like, Joshua's got a very high BST, and he's pretty decent for scoring for an infantry unit. It's 164, which is the best infantry BST in the game currently. But more so than that, he's probably I would assume that a lot of high tier players actually use him to snipe out top scores when green armors are super common in max score arena. So I guess he really sees his uses there, being really tanky and just strong enough to handle armors. So that's kind of what his niche is, I suppose. So he isn't technically 100% useless. Top players, top quote unquote players, will always find a use for decent units like that. Find their niches, and they'll end up finding a spot somewhere. But I just wanted to revisit Josh briefly. I think we gave him a hard time, but he does have his uses, and he's not completely useless, like we kind of implied last time. But anyways, the CYL banner came back. And not everybody was expecting this. I certainly wasn't expecting it. Were you guys expecting it?
No, I
wasn't. No.
Yeah, it was a curveball. They just threw out the far-fetched units, and then 3 days later, the CYL units came back, and we were just not like this.
I guess they kind of dropped signs for it though. I mean, Brave Ike was the in the preview they showed. I think Brave Ike was shown.
Yeah, and they didn't show the second set of bonus units, because we kind of all knew that the Farfetch units would definitely be the bonus units and Josh would be the 20% units. It was just the rest of the roster that needed to be filled out. But yeah, As for me personally, I actually finally managed to roll my blue Lucina and my green Ike finally in that banner. I was extremely lucky in that banner, and I think that might have attributed to where all of my luck went
In that
during
banner,
during the heroes
Please.
heroes
What banner are you
banner.
not lucky in though?
Very few. If I have to be perfectly honest, I don't want to brag or like anything like that, but I do get pretty lucky sometimes, a lot of the time. But anyways, CYL banner came back. I got what I wanted. I hope you guys, if you, in case that you weren't around for the CYL banner the first time, I hope any of you guys that wanted like the most coveted units, aka Bravelyn and Green Ike, finally got the units. Finally got them. If you wanted them,
they're all good.
they're all very good. You can't go wrong with the CYL unit.
Yeah, like especially like just for like new players, these units are awesome. So.
Yeah, you still can get your free pick. I pretty much confirmed it when I was re-rolling for Ben. But yeah, if you have a friend that's like interested in playing, tell them to join now before
in the next 3 hours.
In the next 3 hours, maybe. Yeah, man.
Before this goes up.
But you will be guaranteed a very top tier unit as long as you join. I don't know how long this kind of promotion will keep going. Like it does like actually state like you get a legendary bonus unit for free in the App Store for iOS. I don't know if it promotes that in the Google Play Store. It's been going on since like they were first released back in like August, like the end of August. So it's actually been going on for quite a long time. If you got a friend that's joining or like wants to play, feel free to tell them it's definitely worth it. And like they're guaranteed a good unit, which is very rare amongst gacha games, where like you start the game off with one of the best units in the game. Like they might come up with like better units, like better than Bravelyn, which is really hard to believe considering how strong she is. But who knows? As long as you join now, you'll have a very strong tool to use.
I feel like
now into the far future.
Will just be good like always though.
Yeah, pretty much. Unless like dragons become like supreme, seeing is still in a vacuum, if not the best B skill like period. So the other banner that came out this week was the special damage banner, which featured Corel, Nephne, and Sonia. And we never really had a reason to talk about these units simply because they were never relevant. But here they are. I think the prize here in this banner was obviously Nephne, right? Everybody like just likes Nephne. I think she's a solid unit, and she also is the only unit in the game currently with Wrath 3, so which is a good reason to try to pull her. But if I definitely wouldn't have spent like more than just the free pull to try to get her. Yeah, it's kind of it. Like all these units come with some sort of skill that adds damage, right? Nephne's gimmick is Wrath, Corel's is Woe Dao, and what was Sonia's? It was Dark Excalibur, right?
Dark Excalibur, I mean, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. None of these units themselves see actual play. It's more that they're used for inheritance more than anything.
Nephne's really, really good, but
you think Nephne's good?
I think she's really, really good. I don't see her a lot, but when I see her, she screws with me because she's really like Wrath is just it. You have. Is she
is she like? Oh, what's her stat spread again? Is it like high res and defense and like mediocre attack? Is that what it is?
She's high defense, attack, and speed is like okay. Her res is bad.
Oh, okay. So she's like isn't what makes her better than Luke or Lucas rather?
She's more offensive. She's way more offensive than Luke is.
Okay, where Lucas is just a straight tank, right?
Like, I don't know. I think she's like if I had her, I don't have her, but if I had her, I'd definitely like slot her in as a blue lance during arena assault. Yeah, I don't think I'd fodder her unless it was like bad AVs.
I think I would personally, just because I have enough blue lancers on my roster, like especially with Lucina now and Fjorm, but.
Maybe she's better than Fjorm.
Offensively, she is. Defensively, I think Fjorm's still queen.
No. Yeah, no argument there. But I mean, I think she has her uses. That's all. The other two, not so much. Sonia and Corel.
Corel just doesn't have a place in the meta right now. With like, it's like if you're a sword unit without distant counter built in to your weapon, you kind of just don't stand out, no matter how good unless your stat spread is like ridiculous, like Ira's.
Hera or Mia.
Or Mia as well. But like Mia is kind of like the only exception that doesn't really need distant counter, but I do see a lot of people that like plus 10 her that just add distant counter just because like don't really care about flashing blade. But Sonya is kind of like that one unit. I think I talked about her briefly like way back in like the first episode. My problem with Sonya is that her spread is like awkward. Like she's kind of too defensive in a sense. Like, and most of these units pretty much get their power from being able to proc their special gimmicks. So like Wrath, Dark Excalibur, and Wodao, which is why they kind of have like mediocre attack and like a more balanced defense speed stat. I think that's what my problem was with her was she like every time I compare green tome units, I always compare them to the gold standard, which is Nino, which is unfortunate because I don't think anybody really beats Nino in what she does, which is just straight up blows someone up. There hasn't been a unit like her.
I think some release like holds a candle. Like they're very very close.
Is like a slightly worse Nino.
Yeah, everybody like all burst green mages are slightly worse version than Nino. I think some release does come pretty close, but she's a seasonal unit, and she's pretty hard.
I don't think I've ever seen some release.
Yeah, I think I've seen her like maybe 3 times. Outside of like Nino, like the units like Julia and Daedra do completely different jobs in that they're resistance tanks while also being able to do a surprisingly large amount of damage to other and basically just snipe out Reinhardt. I guess that's what most green mages are nowadays, just counters to Reinhardt. But yeah, let's just move on from the banner.
Wait. Before we forgot to mention Halloween Henry. He actually is quite comparable to Nino.
Yeah.
But he's an armor. I don't think like we're considering infantry mages.
Yeah.
I don't know. You use Henry in a fashion that's similar to Nino, where I use Henry in a similar way that most people use Cecilia when they use the Ground Raven build, essentially.
Yeah.
But Henry's a weird exception because he's very flexible. He's a good unit in that sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, outside of that, moving on, the michalis Grand Hero Battle came back. It's here for another 2 weeks, and it just means that you get some more orbs that if you haven't completed the Grand Hero Battle Infernal and the quests. I think you need to use Alphonse for this one, or use Anna for this one, don't you? I think in chapter 9, part 1. That's the map with michalis in it. If you don't want to be pressured by the Grand Hero Battle kind of like rules to kill the level 40 michalis, because that one features michalis and Camus as the 2 unique units, and I think like 2 flyer units that accompany them. But that map's pretty easy, and all you need to do is just kill michalis with Anna anyways in order to get the prize. You don't even have to actually complete the map. So if you're looking for an easy way to get that orb, just do that. Chapter 9, Part 1, Lunatic. As for michalis himself, we can go over him in more specifics when we get into the weapon refinery and how that's changing the game, quote unquote. Otherwise, I think he is by far the most returned Grand Hero Battle unit at the moment.
If not, he's definitely at the top somewhere.
Yeah, I think he's come back like 3 or 4 times at this point.
I think him, Robin, and Navarre are probably... I mean, him, Robin, and Narshian are probably the most brought back.
Yeah. Still waiting on those 2 mythical units that, at this point, I don't even think exist. Moving on from michalis, let's move on to what we actually rolled in the Legend Fest banner. Before we go into that, actually, let's go into our overall thoughts on the Legend Fest banner in retrospect. Was it a bait? What do you guys think?
I got
at this point. I don't think it was a bait, but like give them a little while to tell us what they have planned next, and I don't know, our tunes might change. But I mean, I don't regret it.
Do you think the 8% was real?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my polls definitely say it was.
I think it was fake. As for my rolls, at least, we all had varying levels of success. That includes Patrick, who we rolled with. I think me and Patrick combined during our failed recording session. I think we both rolled like 500 orbs like together combined, and I think we rolled total of 7 5-stars, which is absolutely atrocious.
I think you had like 600 actually.
Patrick rolled
doesn't
an
make
extremely large amount. I rolled the free roll a bit, my 300 on the night of, and like maybe 20 rolls after that. And I did, and in like after I rolled everything, I did get a bunch of units that I did want, and overall, I think it was a successful experience, albeit less than what I wanted. Dylan, do you want to go over all of your rolls?
I mean, I won't get into it, but I got 5 Deirdres, 4 Iras, 2 Bravelins, a Hector, and a Jenny. I think that covers everything.
Was there? I forget. Was there a unit that you were aiming for specifically? Because you just wanted a better IV Ira and a couple of merges.
Yeah,
possible, right?
I wanted to fix because my first Ira was minus attack, so I wanted to fix that, and it only turned out on the last one. I got the good IV of plus speed minus res, so that's awesome. I'm glad it happened. I did not get a Celica to fix my current one, which is minus attack, which is unfortunate, but I mean it's fine. Eventually got another Hector plus speed, which isn't minus attack, which is good for me. Ended up inheriting the disencounter to Ira.
So you inherited your old one, right?
My old one, yeah.
Yeah, and you're in the process of
building up the new one.
Yeah.
What else? I haven't decided what to do with Jenny. I'll probably merge her or pass off Dazzling Staff. I'm not entirely sure yet. And then all the Deirdres, I'm just sitting on them.
Right.
Probably going to be a mix of Quick Riposte 3 and Speed Play Fodder.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I'll be merging them, even though I got as many as I did. I just don't think that's the correct thing to do.
I think merging up to +3 is like decent enough. I don't know. Who knows? We need to look into the arena scoring calculator in order to actually see what was the most efficient.
Yeah, I just like she's an infantry mage, right? Like she's not even gonna score anywhere close to Ira or whatever, even with merges. So it's.
I mean, I am using Reinhardt.
Yeah, but that's +10. That's like entirely different. I'm only gonna get like +4 maybe.
Yeah.
Like she's too niche. She's not like Nino where she can just blow everything up. Deirdre is like she's got a specific use, and I think just one of that is fine. So I mean, that's probably what I'm gonna do.
There is a more prevalence in dragons now, at least, so she might have more uses there. Specifically, taking out Nowies. I think Falchion units might be coming back. Maybe, not sure. Up for debate. What about those Bravelins? You have a +3 Bravelin now, right?
+2. The best one I pulled another neutral one on top of the CYL one that I picked, so that's a +2 total. The other one was something like minus speed.
Okay, so you still have a neutral IV.
I still have a neutral one, but it's +2, and like honestly, she still does literally everything I need her to, so I'm not sad about it. She's like my Reinhardt. My Reinhardt's like not plus attack, but he is minus speed and has that stat somewhere else, so it's fine. Like
a serviceable one.
They're entirely serviceable. Like I think you could. I don't know the truth to this, but like I think you can get away with both of these units as minus attack if you're really, really unlucky, because horse buffs are just like.
I think Reinhardt you can't get away with a negative attack Reinhardt. You lose like 6 damage.
Like you do miss out on a lot. Yeah,
you miss out on a lot, but like they're just so good. Like
if you're only using him to snipe out red units, then that's obviously like perfectly fine. But there are some cases where you do want to just take out the armor unit. Like I do use him to take out FE sometimes. Yeah, I'm not confident in my greens.
So I mean, anyway, it doesn't really matter. I'm pretty happy with how this went. I think in total I spent, I don't know, I want to say like at most 300, but I want to say it was just shy of that, like maybe 250, 270. I spent some time doing the orb content, so chain challenges, and squad assaults, and all that stuff to squeeze in a few rolls before it ended.
Sam, you got some pretty exciting rolls over the weekend.
I mean, yeah, I got some pretty exciting units and some pretty like feels bad man units, but overall very happy with the banner. I got like a plus speed Bridal Cordelia, so it's good because I had like a pretty neutralish one and that was like plus defense negative res. So it's nice that I got to like have like a really good Cordelia now that I am pretty hyped to maybe one day give Fire Sweep Bow to, and then I got like a negative speed Brave Lynn that I promptly merged with my neutral Lynn from the CYL banner.
We are just not getting lucky with these new Lin units.
And then I got like two I got two Celicas. One was plus res, one was negative speed, so maybe one of those gonna be distant defense fodder. And then I got a negative attack Ike, so he'll be heavy blade fodder. And then I finally got a Hector, which was probably the highlight of this banner. And then overall I rolled like 8 units from the CYL, so I was pretty happy. Got a Deirdre as well and a Spring Camilla as well. Spring Camilla I'm kind of excited for too, because she's like plus attack, so I'm excited to make her like a Grand Raven user, or like a
Grand Raven,
or like a Death Blow blade user.
Give her blade, dude.
Oh, I know, but like I want her to just have both. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. But probably
I think plus attack is worth it, and I think she has a decent defense stat, even though she's.
No, mine was negative defense though. So.
Oh, yeah.
That might hurt you a bit, yeah. As for me, literally when the banner came out, I think I rolled it like the morning after. I had the free roll and I managed to roll not on the free roll exactly, but I spent the 4 orbs afterwards and I got my Bride Cordelia that I wanted. And I think that's also where all of my luck went and pretty much disappeared. My Cordelia was plus attack minus HP. Finished working on her yesterday. Finally gave her all of this stats. I think she was like the biggest investment that I put in because she had like so many 300 cost SP skills, especially with like the Brave Bow. But I managed to roll a Silica, 2 Silicas actually, an extra Ike, Spring Camilla, and like that was kind of it for the summoning session for the recording session, failed one. Afterwards, I think I bought like 40 more orbs, and I just did any of the leftover orbs that I didn't actually get, along with the weekly and daily orbs that we get for free. And I managed to pull 2 extra Hectors. I put one on Amelia, and the second one I'm debating whether to put on my Lucina or my Effie. Still thinking about which one to put it on, which one's going to be a better investment. I am leaning towards Lucina, but I would be unhappy about putting it on Effie as well. What else? That's kind of it for my rolls. It's pretty boring. I think I said last week, or last episode rather, that I wanted like 5 Hectors. Didn't really pan out that way. Guess it's just a pipe dream. Hopefully more Hectors come my way as the days go along. But I've got some new units in my roster now. I'm pretty happy and content with my box. I don't think I need any new units from now on moving forward, unless they really increase the power curve of the new stuff, which hopefully isn't anytime soon. Probably by the time anniversary is when I'll maybe spend again, or just plain straight up get lucky. But that's kind of it for the Legends banner. But before that, I'd like to briefly go over what the audio was like, because like we would record this recording session, and we didn't get any of the footage, but I did manage to get all the audio recorded. And what I distinctly remember about it is that me and Sam were yelling about the severe lack of green orbs in the pulling. Like every time we would go into a new banner, it would be like 5 orbs, 3 of them were red and 2 of them were blue, and you're just like, I just want green. Where are all the greens? And it would be like this. Like it would show up like there are 4 colors in the entire, like in the game, and only 3 of them would show up. Like the one that we needed just wouldn't. for like maybe 5 like pulls in a row before he actually like got like one single green orb. And it's kind of like distressing, especially considering some of the best units in the game right now are green. Like, any thoughts on that?
Oh god, rolling green is like a roller coaster. It just like feels bad when you don't get the
You're
green.
just there's definitely truth to that. You're just excited to get green orb in your summoning session at all. Again, I think I really lucked out. I ran into like the stupid amount of green orbs with all these Deirdres that I got, but I mean, just like there is definitely a trend. I noticed it, that, and I think there were stats done that greens are just like
I think
they're
maybe
by far the
16
least
per,
frequent show up.
I think 16% or less of all orbs when they appear are green, and I think like maybe some stupid stat like 26% are red.
Red and like colorless and
like 26 are like I think 26 a piece are like red and colorless, and then like the rest are like blue, and then like majority, like the last final majority is green, which is distressing. I hope they really fix like the rates, because it is so dumb when you, or like change the pulling system so that you do get a kind of like guaranteed like like what I think I saw like really early on in this game's lifespan on Reddit was have one of each color and then have the last color be random, so you have a chance of getting a double. I mean, that eliminates all possibility of getting 5 greens, which is like what we all kind of like mostly want.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
I think I've seen
5 blue and 5 red.
I've only seen like
not
5
green.
I've only seen 5 greens when I'm actually not rolling for green, like oddly enough. I think that was like early on when I was like chasing a bunch of red units. I was just like, why is it all green? And
but even then, I don't think the frequency is very high. Like, if I've
Definitely
seen it before,
not.
it's like once. Whereas, like, I can recall it like many more times I've seen like 4 or 5 reds, blues, or colorless. It's just the color.
Yeah, it's definitely like a slippery slope to tread when regarding like summoning and how they want to like skew the percentages.
Is that really skewing percentages?
I mean, it does make sense considering that all of the high quality green units, the amount of high quality green units is like ridiculous. Green, like I've said this before, but green is like the most purified color in terms of high quality units in the game, because you have so many of them, and very rarely, unless you're Dylan, will you get shit like Merrick to pity break you.
Just stop, please. Don't. We don't talk about that here.
Like, throw that dagger deeper into his like spinal cord.
Yeah. That's just kind of something I want to get off my chest. But that's kind of it for Legends Fest banner. Please tell us what your roles were. We'd love to get jealous. It's not like these guys get jealous of me anyways on a daily basis. But hopefully your roles did go well. Feel free to tell us. Moving on to the book 2 content. This was kind of the big thing about the 2.0 update. Well, one half of the big thing. And that is book 2, which introduced a completely new set of chapters in the main story, and I think they're going to be building on that moving forward. So, if you haven't done them already, I hope you have. It is a butt ton of free orbs. I think you get maybe you get 9. No, it's 5 per thing, so it's 15 just for completing all of book 2, as well as the free Fjorm that you get. And then there's also the chain challenges that you can do, which is another like, what is that? 2, 4, like 8 orbs you can get from that. So like 23 orbs just from that. And then the quests for doing the book 2 stuff, which is another like maybe 5, 6 orbs. So tons of orbs. If you haven't rolled them already, I'm like, chances are that you have. The chapters aren't really that hard. Did you guys were you guys surprised by any of the chapters? Did you find them like difficult?
Just the chain challenge was obviously the hardest. I did manage to clear it, so I'd say it's not as bad as the later chapters of book 1. And just I guess like one thing that I think might help people is the last the very last map in the chain challenge, you have to run away from this Emblem Ward unit, and it has
big
this,
old tank with this
yeah,
ridiculous
it's an
weapon.
armor. It's an armor, and it's got like, I don't know. I think it has like a 20 damage AOE if you're within its.
Within 2 spaces, you take 20
Yeah.
damage. Yeah,
So,
and
but-
like that's before he even moves and attacks you.
But it's easy enough to avoid. I did not have trouble with that. I recommend people use flyers if you have them. Their mobility is just, you can literally just run away, and it's totally fine. That's it.
Yeah, chain challenges there. Also, if you've already unfortunately done your chain challenges for the easier maps in the book 1, make sure you save the chain challenge for book 2, the 10 battle one, the final stage, because that is a very easy source for SP grinding and HM grinding as well, outside of Tempest Trials. For
I actually
very
like it
efficient
better
amount of stamina.
than the book 1.
Yeah, I actually like it very much. You can just like put 2 units, a healer, and a dancer, and then just auto battle all the way until the end. As long as the AI doesn't screw with you, but you can always just adjust where your team is positioned so that maybe AI kind of makes it all the way to the end. Anyways, make sure you don't clear the last stage as usual and just quit. Surrender all the matches once you get to what's it called, the last stage, and then you'll be able to keep on repeating the quest and get the maximum amount of SP. In other news, I'm pretty sure you guys have already been experiencing it if you've been playing the game, and that's 2x EXP and SP. I hope you guys have been having fun with that. I know I've been training a lot of units using this because we rarely ever get 2x EXP events. We do get 2x SP every weekend, but XP is even more rare than that. So I've been training a lot of units that I've put on the back burner, and all the new units that I pulled, I've been throwing into the chain challenge, or like throwing into the training tower before going into the chain challenge to get up to 40 as soon as possible, getting as much SP as possible as well. But that ends on the 5th, I think.
Yeah, so
which is I think it might be a day. It might even be like at reset tonight. So hope you took advantage of this.
We get tomorrow.
Hopefully,
but I mean, we'll see.
Don't get your hopes up, but hopefully you did take advantage of it. It's definitely like 2 times anything is always a good thing. But aside from that, a new squad assault came out, and that came out with book 2, and it included the introduction of the squad ace E seal, and that gives you +1 attack. So if you've been wanting to upgrade another attack seal for another unit, maybe you want to put on your Lin, maybe you want to put on your Owen, who knows, you now have another attack seal that you can upgrade to +3. So there you go. Have fun with that. As I said, Fjorm becomes a neutral. Fjorm becomes available for you to use right out of the box with all of her skills. There isn't no Marth thing where she's got like bare naked, like she's bare naked and got no skills or weapon. She comes paired out of the box. She comes with all 3 skills, decent skills in a vacuum. We can go into Fjorm right now if you guys want to. What do you guys think of her?
She's not bad.
She's not bad. She's
especially for a free unit, definitely not.
Yeah, she's got like that whole legendary hero thing going, and aside from that, she's a defensive unit, enemy phase. She's got distant counter in her weapon. I think her skill set is a bit like, I think when
it's
I first saw
all over
it,
the place, isn't it?
when I first saw it, I thought a lot more of it than actually like using it in practice.
Oh yeah.
So I've completely retooled my Bjorn, but I think her base skill set is still workable, especially for like players on a budget or like without the resources to give her something else. Like she's still gonna service you super well.
Like you could probably do a lot of content with just Fjorm and like Brave Lin.
Yep, she'll be one of those like kind of go-to units.
Just a better
before you know it, you'll cap her HM.
Yeah, she's definitely not the most offensive unit, but she is quite tanky. Surprisingly so. She's got a very balanced stat spread, which in her case isn't a terrible thing.
Yeah.
Well,
she's also the first unit to actually. I think she's actually the highest scoring unit just based on base kit alone, with a unique weapon, unique special, and pretty much like above average SP cost skills on every single board. So like defense, attack defense is 240 SP, shield pulse is 240 SP, and what was it? Drive attack is 240 SP. So if you just use it right off the box, she'll score quite high for you if you haven't retooled her. As for her special skill, I think Ice Mirror. I think that was outside of her legendary weapon. That was probably like the second most alluring thing about her. We were all kind of wondering what Ice Mirror actually did, and we've come to the conclusion. Well, I've pretty much come to the conclusion that it will be usable in the near future. Like we just don't have a certain skill that will unlock its potential is what I'm feeling about. It's got a 2-turn cooldown, and it like defends against range units and gives you more damage. If she had like maybe 5 more attack instead of like health or something, I think this special would be like totally more usable, because as she is now, she just isn't offensive enough to take advantage of it.
Yep.
Yeah, he's like kind of weak, I find.
Yeah, like I think I told this to you guys before, but I think they're exploring an interesting design space by taking the specials this route. We have more than enough.
Too many lines of text, though. Way too many lines of text.
Yeah, they can
stop with that, IS.
But I mean,
stop with that.
Beyond that, I think like we have enough offensive specials in the game. I don't think we need that anymore. And I mean, like, you know, they're still coming up with really stupid, broken offensive specials like Black Luna and Ragnall Astra. So I like that with this unit they went kind of the defensive route, even if it isn't usable, because I think they're going to be able to. I don't know, like we could just get away from the one-shot meta. Like I have, you know, there's no way of knowing what that'll entail, but I'm up for the game shaking it up.
IS hasn't really had a penchant of like really nerfing anything. Like they've never actually made any direct changes to any specific unit. I don't think they're allowed to actually by Japanese law, where like if you kind of devalue a gacha unit, like it just makes the customer upset, and you're actually not allowed to do that. So pretty much no tampering allowed.
No, that's to the unit itself. That's wrong. That's misinformation.
Oh, okay.
The only actual law around like gachapon games is you can't make people buy like an Exodia unit kind of thing, where it's like, oh, you have to like gachapon roll for like 5 pieces, and you only get the thing you want after like you combine the 5. And you might get completely like destroyed with the RNG and get like 4 out of the 5, and then you just get
right.
Like, that's the only thing that's actually illegal. Like they can nerf and change units as much as they want, but then just like people don't like companies don't normally do that because you just like completely annoy the hell out of your fan base.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So if that's the case, then I think a common design philosophy, at least in the West, is it's better to make things slightly more overpowered, because you can tune things down with nerfs instead of making them underpowered, because then you'll have to like slowly tweak it to make it not too overpowered, and then have to tweak it again, back and forth. So it's better to just overpower something and then slowly just reel it in as the meta continues, like whether or not you introduce whether or not you nerf it directly or you do it indirectly with, you know, like the COs with like deflect magic and deflect missile with all the Lins and Reinhardt's rampaging around. And they have done that kind of like to cull Reinhardt a bit. Obviously, it hasn't done it as effectively as they probably wanted to with Sigurd, but and to a certain extent, Ike as well. He's the one who started it. But they are like, you know, kind of trying to work around culling overpowered things. I just wish Fjorm came out of the box slightly more overpowered than she was. Is essentially what I'm saying. Or at least Ice Mirror was a lot stronger than what it was. But anyways, that's enough of Fjorm. Ilu, you also mentioned the blessing and the seasonal bonus as well. We can go over that. And this is quite interesting because this is one of the new mechanics you can actually use to boost your arena score. If you guys haven't realized already, I've actually thrown my blessing onto Ira, actually, just because I want to. Like, I already have her S supported and Summoner supported. I'm just like, I'll just throw another crest on her just to make the UI look ridiculous.
Wait, who?
Ira.
Oh, Ira. Okay.
Yeah, I actually thought that like the unit for this week, the one featuring the far-fetched units, is actually going away, and I saw that Ira was going to be not Ira, but Ira is going to be on it actually. But I saw that Fjorm actually was going to be on it, so I was just like, oh, time to increase my arena score then. Just throw on the blessing, and then if I run Ira together with Fjorm, she suddenly gets more stats, right? Turns out that Ira's also on the banner, and I don't really need to run Fjorm, who isn't merged, so I can just run my maximum team and just go to town. So that blessing currently no value in the arena at least, but hopefully in the future when more legendary units come out, they will be relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts?
The seasonal thing, I mean, it's just like something else. It's like a nice bonus. I haven't actually used my water blessing yet. I haven't decided what to put it on.
Yeah.
But it doubles a unit's SP gain, and I think it gets like a little bit of stat or something when it's paired up with.
In Water's case, or at least Fjorm's case, I don't know if Water Blessings are going to remain consistent for all the Water legendary units, or if it's just Fjorm in general. But for those of you who don't know, I think you get plus speed and plus res whenever you pair Fjorm and whatever your conferred Water Blessing unit to is. And I don't think there's a range limitation either. So they can be two sides of the map apart and they will still get the bonus, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I have no
I
idea.
haven't used my yet. So.
Yeah, so I mean,
tell me in the comments how wrong I am. But yeah, there will be more seasonal elements, I guess. Right now we're just in, what is it, water and earth, or is it water and fire?
Water and
earth.
Water and earth. So we're still getting the wind and the fire elements coming soon. Probably, I think they might actually, I think they said that they would change every arena season, actually. So we might actually get a new season, like tonight even.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I'm excited to see what they do with these legendary heroes, because like it can't just be Fjorm. Like it is for now, but they're gonna keep going with this. And
do you think Surtur is gonna be? Do you think Surtur is the?
No, if he comes with his base kit, no. Have you seen his weapon? No.
Yeah.
No, I think he's gonna remain a store unit. They aren't gonna pull a Black Knight and bring him into the actual game. And make him an actual usable unit.
I think
unless they completely gut the weapon. What, I don't even know what his weapon is called, but unless they like make it so they take like 5 AoE damage, maybe. Is that a bit underpowered? 20 damage is too much. Like 10 is too much as well, because it's just like an AoE pain going on. You don't even have to commit your attack.
But I feel like though he is an armor unit. Like how often are you gonna get in position to use it?
Armor March.
Yeah.
It's very traditional though.
Armor March and reposition is like the scariest thing in the universe. Hello? Like, have you seen like a Henry barrel at you through a tree with reposition and bring it?
I mean, I use that combination in arena.
It's scary as shit, dude. But yeah, I don't know. If anything, I hope they bring like Loki and what's the other red unit? I forget her name.
Oh, the Visala or whatever person.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna bring like Surtur into the game, or like into the actual gameplay itself.
I actually think I think they have a chance of showing up, like just not soon.
If they do, like, holy moly! What they gotta like do something to the weapons, because they are pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, but I mean,
Like having an
Ike's a
AOE
thing.
gravity or having like a cardinal gravity is ridiculous.
Ike's a thing. Like, I don't know. I think it's a possibility. But I mean,
I don't
whatever.
know,
We'll
we
see
can
what
always hope.
happens.
I won't be opposed. I'll just like question whether like if they do what they're gonna do with the stats and what they're gonna do with the weapon themselves,
I
because
mean,
that's
Fire
always the
Emblem
best bet.
Heroes did get Game of the Year 2017.
They did just get that today, didn't they?
You know what
Yeah.
I'm excited about?
Free orbs.
That probably means free orbs. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Oh, whoa. Yeah, that's kind of it for this book two content. Like the book two itself. The other half of the 2.0 update is actually the weapon refinery, and let's go into that because that's also a very dense topic that we can get into. But do you have any initial thoughts on it right now?
Holy dragon.
Yeah, it's. Oh, I was okay. Generally speaking, it's a lot to take in. I don't even think I've fully digested it yet. There's just like they opened up a lot of possibilities by allowing you to upgrade older weapons and make them more viable. And as Sam kind of mentioned there, dragons are pretty insane now. I still don't know if you can push them into like being enemy phase units. They're just not made that way, especially with like. I mean, like you do want to run lightning breath on every dragon that is a minion. Um, so, but just to clarify, the new lightning breath, um, any dragon with it that targets a ranged unit, so something that attacks from two spaces, um, that unit will take damage to its lower defensive stat. So those mages that dragons just couldn't punch through before, now they're gonna get attacked through their defense, and that's just it's like it's insanely good.
Yeah,
I don't know how to.
Yeah, for those of you who don't use dragons or don't know how dragons operate, they're an infantry mage unit essentially. So they attack using magic, but they're first of all melee and they like target your res, which is why it's super important. Like now that you can actually hit somebody hit a mage with their defense because they unless you're Robin, you typically have lower defense than you have res, and that goes that's just especially important for someone like Brave Lyn because dragons are the only things that can distant counter Lyn because they aren't a sword, lance, or axe unit. So they can bypass Sake's blessing, and Lyn actually has Lyn has paper defenses. She actually has a respectable amount of res.
She has like really good res actually, I find.
Yeah, she's got a very respectable. I think mine has like 29 at neutral, maybe. I think that might be it. But yeah, all the breaths essentially. Anything that ends with breath doesn't have to be lightning breath, flame tongue, or a thing. They all have this thing where if you hit a two space target, it deals damage based on their lower defense. So that's essentially what it is. But what I do like about this update is that it does allow for a lot more customization, essentially. And it's not like card games where like, oh, you can customize your deck this way, and then like you find out what the meta is, and then all the decks like slowly become the same. But like because of how teams are made, even though there is a specific meta, Arena is random enough where you can actually customize your unit to tackle on what you personally have trouble dealing with. So if you have enough like resistance heavy units, you can actually pick the weapon upgrade that upgrades defense and to tackle all the physical damaging units that you run into and have a better matchup against them, or like have more speed, so it allows your dragons in this case to not get doubled by by a certain mage or like a sword unit or whatever. But Sam, have you invested into any weapons yet?
No, I haven't. I'm like honestly just waiting to get more Noes, and then trying to like make like merge it to +10 immediately, but
Right.
you know my luck with Noe. I've rolled 1 4-star since the course of the game, so maybe in another 8 years I'll get that Noe.
Nice. +2 4-star Noe. That's brilliant.
No, I'm gonna +5 for her. I'm gonna 5-star
I
her.
got a 5-star her too. Jesus.
I have 260k feathers, and they can all go into the Noe.
What the heck?
How many refining stones do you have? Have you been doing the quests all day?
I've done all of them. I mean, most of them. I haven't done all the Fjorm ones because I haven't.
So you have like 200?
Let me double check actually. Actually, wait.
Can we? Do we even have enough for 200?
200. Is that the lower one?
The ores, yeah.
I have
really
125.
Okay, so if you have 125 and you've been doing all of them all day, like every single day, then I guess 125 is currently the maximum amount.
No, I mean I have a few that I need to pick up still. I have.
Oh, okay. So you can possibly get more even. Okay,
I get
so
20 more. I can 147. Like
okay, so 147 is currently the max, I suppose. So just
if you scored higher than me in arena, you would have a little more than me though.
Right. So just shy of 3. What's it called? Refinery upgrades, because you take 50 refinery ores and like a couple hundred SP in order to upgrade the weapon. As for me personally, I've only upgraded one weapon so far, and that is the lightning vet that we were talking about. But I used it on my Fae because I had a +9 Fae lying around in my inventory after the Hector pulls that I did over the weekend. And
is she 4 or 5-star?
She's 4-star.
Oh, okay.
So I reverse merged my current 5-star. But like, if you see like the screenshot that I did, she has like 1 billion more stat than what my original Fae did, and she also gets like more stat from having. I chose plus speed. In retrospect, I probably should have picked plus defense because I do still get quadded by Lynn. Like obviously she'll hit me twice and then I'll hit back, and then because I don't have enough damage, I don't actually kill her, which is weird. I think it might have been just been a +10 Lynn thing, but I think neutral Lynn still dies to my Fae. But I do live barely enough to kill her on the return on the second quick riposte or whatever. So it's perfectly fine.
Yeah. For me, I actually put it on my young Tiki, and she is doing work. I gotta say, like, yeah. Well, I mean, I've also got her summoner supported.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like you can't underestimate this lightning breath. It's just like all the stuff that dragons kind of suffered from before, like it's all fixed with this skill. It's kind of crazy. Very happy with it, and Faye and Noe will be my next.
Just to clarify, you don't absolutely need lightning breath. Lightning breath is just universally the best breath skill for the casual player because it's so accessible through adult Tiki and Naui, who Sam can't seem to pull ever. Like the breath, as I said before, the breath effects still apply to every single breath skill, like the upgrade at least. So I've seen top players actually use Young Tiki with Flame Tongue Plus with the upgrade, and then use Distant Counter on her just to score higher and do more damage.
What do you guys think of Light Breath?
Light Breath. I think Light Breath is actually the. Wait, no. Light Breath is the one that gives you. It's the opposite of Dark Breath.
Yeah, plus everything.
It gives you plus stats, right? Is it all stats?
Yeah, actually, I think it's almost all stats. Yeah.
Is it like? Does it work like a spur? Or does it work like a hone? Like after you attack, you get a hone.
I heard the description was wrong or something. I'm not sure.
Okay, so we'll need clarification on that. But I don't think Light Breath is all that useful, anyways. Like compared to the raw attack power of Flame Tongue and the ability to use an A skill by having Lightning Breath. I just don't think Light Breath has a place right now. Even Dark Breath has its places just by being like a debilitating skill sometimes on like female Korin. But that's kind of it for the like any other weapons kind of stand out.
Well, I just wanted to go over light breath. Actually, I think it has its uses. It's just hard to execute. But +5 all is that's really really good.
Better than Azura's legendary weapon.
It
And
is.
that's like in like an AOE. So like if you can trigger it, it's I don't know. It sounds so good on paper that I think I might give it a shot. But it's a
like
long-term project.
it might be usable on like blade tome units then, because you kind of do want to walk around in like this death ball kind of formation anyway, so you can give buffs to each other.
Mhm.
So I can see its uses there, I suppose. The only two units that actually do have light breath though are Ninian and Fae. So you're gonna have to pick one of the two. Obviously, Fae is a lot more accessible to get at 4 stars. And then you can just quickly upgrade it to Light Breath Plus, inherit it onto something, and then if you don't want to use Fae yourself, and then go to town with the Lightning Breath upgrade. But I personally would rate Light Breath the lowest out of the breath skills still. Do you think differently?
It's defensive. No, I think it's still at the bottom, but I don't know. I'm gonna explore this, and I'll get back to you guys once I have more. So like maybe
You were talking about some ridiculous Ninian builds earlier today. I was just like,
yeah. I mean,
that Tim Hortons probably put something like terrible in your coffee or something, or like where did you go to McDonald's? This podcast is not sponsored by either, by the way.
no, I actually had some other coffee this morning.
Okay,
But,
Tim's coffee, Timothy's coffee. Not Tim Hortons.
But yeah.
Anyways,
Weapons outside of the breaths that I'm excited for? No, not really.
Really?
Come on, man. Soul Caddy with the 5.5.
We can talk about divine weapons in a second. I'm still going over like the basic weapons. So like Soul Lance Plus doesn't impress you. What else?
I don't
any of the daggers. Come on, dude.
Berkut's Lance looks pretty interesting with the +11 res.
Oh wow, yeah, I saw that. It was really weird.
It's just like a lot of stats. Lance. I don't know.
I think I still have like another Burkett or two lying around. Did we even get 2 Burketts? I think we've only gotten one ever.
It's 2. You can get 2.
Yeah, I think we got a bronze and a silver one. I think it just might be at the bottom of my box.
I actually don't think I cleared Burkett's GHB.
What?
Yeah,
you're in luck because Burkett's Grand Hero Battle is actually coming back.
Yeah,
more on that in a bit.
I think like I got that mythical unit that doesn't exist.
Oh yeah, that one. The other Lance unit that's better.
Whatever.
Gravidius OP. But like no other like, are there any like sleeper weapons? As in like, do you think any of them have like potential? I know you did talk about it with Light Breath, like how it does have potential, but like any other ones that kind of are just slipping under the radar. We like none of us actually know healers, so none of us are actually talking about the stabs right now, are we?
I don't know. I've been quite liking, like, I guess, Gravity Plus. I don't know. It's just kind of nice, like, actually like having a use for 5-star healers. Like, I mean, not really, but like, it's just kind of cool being like, oh, I mean, like, it's like you get more out of getting a 5-star healer, because I like 4 or 5-star healers. So then I'm like, oh, like it feels less shitty rolling one of them.
Have you found a use for Mist yet? Offensively,
I just use Mist as a miracle heal bot for Tempest Trials.
Well, there you go. Mist still useless.
All my healers are useless. I just use them as like bots for like healing without weapons. I take their weapons off, but like when I do need to use them for damage, now I can't. So it's like
unfortunate. But funny story is that I actually ran into an Elise in one of my AA runs earlier this week while I was trying to complete them. And she did get horse buffs, and she did one-shot one of my units. I'm not sure which one. I think it might have been like Dorcas or something. Like she just like one-shot him. She just like pounded him twice, and then he was dead. I was just like, what? What just happened? I died to a healer. But that happened to me. That was quite embarrassing. I probably should have taken a screenshot of what that Elise was and tried to copy that build. But I don't think that'll work with my Elise, considering mine is like, I think it might be minus attack. I'll have to double check it. But yeah, healers are if you put them in the right scenario, they can be a threat. So I think all healers right now, aside from like the obvious bad ones, are sleepers. But we can go into divine weapons now. Yeah. Let's try to go over this really quick because what my opinions on the divine weapons are is that they're all very underwhelming. Not gonna lie, we were super hyped up when they were released, or like they were
announced.
Yeah, when they were all teased, I was like, we were super hyped, and now that they did come out, it's just like, what the heck?
I guess I'll just die now.
It's just it's just really bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, any of them stand out to you? I think Fujin Yumi is actually the only one that stands out, but even that, I don't think I would use Fujin Yumi over Brave Bow, would I?
It just like, yeah, Takumi with Fujin Yumi just doesn't cut it anymore. Like, in this, I guess, meta, and the current state of things that we're in, we kind of need. You just need more out of your units, and I don't think Fujin Yumi cuts it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. I like the design though. Apparently, it's very in line with like what he used to have.
Or what it does have in the game, at least. Yeah.
Yeah. The whole traversing terrain or ignoring it and that stuff. Yeah.
I don't know. Some smart Japanese guy will find out how to break the meta, but until then, verdict still remains the same. Fujin Yumi is garbage, which is unfortunate because it's a very cool weapon. What else? Haute Claire got the Wodao effect. While I do think this is all of these buffs are straight up buffs. They make the weapons better than they were before, but I don't think having a Wodao effect on Minerva or Michalis makes them all of a sudden viable green units as like independent axe units and as flying units, especially when everybody's probably got a Camilla now.
Yeah, I don't think they're still not like amazing, but I think they're probably a bit better.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. The Wodao effect does synergize with the Haute Claire's base effect, which is basically a killer weapon, which speeds up your special acceleration. But I think that Minerva already did enough damage on her own, and this might help out Michalis because he does have a weaker attack spread and more of a defense spread compared to Minerva. But I still think they have glaring weaknesses, as in having a hard time approaching, like being a melee flyer in a realm where bows exist.
In a meta where Brave Lyn exists.
In a meta where Brave Lyn exists and armor units are plentiful nowadays. Even as solo units, they don't have to be in armor march formation. What other weapons were there? Jafar's Deathly Daggers. Elenix, do you still regret throwing away your Jafar? I wouldn't think so. Nope. Jafar is still garbage. What was his effect again? It was magic units cannot counterattack against him.
What is this water sweep?
Yeah. Jafar is still terrible. Ninja's still terrible. I said this earlier today, and until IS fixes that train wreck of dying passengers not called Sakura or Kagero, ninjas will still be terrible. Fix this, please. I have hope. Moving on. What was it? We went over Jafar, Takumi, Minerva, Michalis, Ephraim. We talked about last week.
Double Fury. Eldigan.
Oh god. For those of you who don't know the memes, Eldigan has Fury 6 now, and what that means is that he has Fury 3 built into his weapon, and then he already had Fury 3 as his base kit A skill. So he now actually he gets, what is it, like 6 extra stats all around, but he takes 12 damage. So that makes him like super tanky, but I think that makes him just as much of a glass cannon as Roy, in a sense. Right? Except I think his speed is actually garbage, though.
I mean, +6 all is a ton of stat.
It is a ton of stat, but like the only stats that matter are actually are unless you're using him as an enemy phase unit for whatever reason without distant counter, is attack and speed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like having +6 attack and speed is just like.
But having like that increased defense, sometimes you might not even be straight up to damage him. Like you might not be able to actually hurt him like on his defense.
Maybe, but he'll still take 12 damage afterwards.
Yeah, but if you can't kill him, like it doesn't matter if he just says if he just keeps taking like 0 damage, even if he's
I suppose. So
and like the bonfire procs will be like super
the bonfire product, like, because he still does have his killer effect on his weapon on top of the Fury 3 skill built in as well, and his Mistletoe also. If you get that effect, does it gain? I think it gains like 2 extra attack. Does it?
I don't know about that.
I think it might just remain the same 16 base with the extra Fury stat. But I think out of all of them, Eldigan probably is the one that looks the most usable out of them. Are there any other weapons that I'm missing?
I don't think. Yeah, Huckler's not that good.
We had Helclair, Deathly Dagger, Fujinumi, Mistletoe, and I think that's it.
Yeah. I think that's everything.
Yeah, I think that's it. Feel free to tell us which ones we missed, but chances are we missed it because it wasn't really that good.
Well, there was Soul Caddy, but...
Yeah. Oh yeah, Soul Caddy. She has Desperation and Rash Assault on her weapon now, I suppose.
Still, like, not as good as Ira, unfortunately.
It frees up a lot of her slots.
But what B skill does she even need to at this point? It's like she just has every B skill.
She would, like, you would probably just use Wrath on her, obviously.
Yeah.
You'd probably just use Wrath, like some sort of drive, or like double spur. And then, like, for your A skill, it would probably be bog standard, like Fury or Distant Counter if you're feeling feisty. But Lynn is still garbage Ira. She's still in the shadow of Ira and always will be until they overhaul her completely, which they are. Which I also shown that they've.
What are you talking about? They already overhauled her and turned into Braveland.
Yeah, yeah. That's how you compete with Ira. You fucking just put her on a horse and give her a bow instead. But yeah, that's kind of it for the refinery. For those of you who don't know where Dew comes from, they will be given out in terms of rewards, I suppose, but they haven't actually given them out at the time of this recording. And you can get 50 of them every time you refine a weapon. So I refined my lightning breath, and I got 50 Dew rewarded to me. And I think you need 200, right? So you need 4 full basic weapon refineries before you can upgrade your divine weapon. And obviously, we've already calculated that we have less than 200 refined ores going around in circulation right now, so we actually can't even upgrade a divine weapon even if we wanted to. But it's safe to say that none of these divine weapons are worthwhile, and you should probably hold on to your divine news if you can for future updates, unless you really do like some of these units and want to make them work.
Dark Orlin.
By all means.
I will be doing that. Definitely Dark Orlin.
Oh, you have a Lind, Ela?
Yeah, I do.
Why does everybody have much, Lind except me? Jesus, that's the only. That's like one of the few blue units that I actually want. Not as much anymore. Not as coveted, but it's still nice to have her.
Plus 10 Reinhardt, come on.
So does everybody. Well, most people. But that's kind of it for the weapon refinery. Feel free to tell us your thoughts on what you want to do with your weapons, how you customize it, how you customize your units, and if you are going to upgrade a certain divine unit, which one are you going to pick and for what reason. But let's try to speed through the rest because we're kind of short on time for this one. The event calendar came out. If you guys didn't actually see it, you can go back in the bulletin board, and they actually announced a couple of new things. And that's the voting gauntlet, which actually their banners came out last night, or 2 days ago even. It was 2 days ago. And that was the Enduring Love Gauntlet. And this features, once again, like every voting gauntlet, 8 units. And these units are, I will split them up into 2. There is the Enduring Love Block A, which features Faye, Priscilla, Tharja, and Rajat, who is actually Tharja's daughter.
Actually, isn't she like Tharja from another dimension?
I don't know. I fucking suck at Fire Emblem lore. So, like, Tram came here and explained a bunch of shit, and I was just like, I got bored. I'm not gonna. Tram, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry. I just can't. But there's Rajat, whether or not she's just like Tharja, like spelled like an acronym or like an anagram for Tharja. I don't give a shit. She's the new unit, and we can talk about her in a bit. Like, are there any standout units that you want to go through? Like, Ilu, you've only pulled one Tharja. You can pull another one, right?
Oh, I pulled 2 actually.
Oh yeah, you pulled 2.
You can pull
you can pull some more. I don't think you want. Like, you probably wouldn't want that anyways. But the standout unit here, I think, outside of Rajat, is actually, in my opinion, Faye, because as Sam said earlier, we both kind of want Fire Sweet Bow. I have only got one Faye right now, and I'm super reluctant to feed her away because I actually want to keep her and use one personally, because I do like Faye as a unit herself. Not her stat spread, but I just like using her because I've got a weird attraction to her. I did pull this the free unit, the free pull rather, and I got Priscilla, which is unfortunate. So I have a +1 merge Priscilla now that I'm working on. She's actually plus attack, so I might actually end up using her as an offensive unit. Who knows? Horse buffs are still there, and it might make her viable. Tharja, she has a whole slew of problems, but if you need a burst mage, she's useful in that department. Not as good as Silica, obviously, due to consistency in terms of buffs, but still usable nonetheless, especially if you like her. Japan's got weird taste, and she might even actually win the entire banner. We'll go over Rajat in a bit, but in the Enduring Love Block B banner, we have 4 units here, and that's Katria, Katarina, Sigurd, and Dorcas. Dorcas we went over last week. He's a solid unit, probably the best unit out of the Farfetch'd units. Distant counter on his weapon, unique A skill in Fierce Stance, got Quick Riposte 3, which goes really well with his distant counter and allows him to run Steady Breath if you are pooping out green Ikes and have no idea what to do with them. And he has Infantry Pulse, which can be synergistic, because infantry is actually the only emblem, quote unquote, team that doesn't actually have any buffs. So Infantry Pulse kind of shores up their lack of immediate attack power by boosting their skills by 1. Sigurd, one of the better units in the game, just on paper. We did go over him, right?
Sigurd?
Yeah,
back when he came out.
Back when he came out. I think when he first was announced, everybody had this knee-jerk reaction like he was going to change the meta. But I've actually seen a slowly increasing rise of Reinhardt and Lin, and a decrease in Sigurd. Sigurd is still one of those things that are just like really annoying to deal with for Reinhardt. Just like, I just can't seem to kill him when he's above 50 HP or like 50% HP. But he's still like workable. Like Camus still kills him. I said the forbidden unit that shouldn't ever be named. But there's still units that deal with him. Blue Lances like completely counter him. Is absolutely
Azura and Nephany destroy him.
Yeah, Katarina probably the second. I guess when she isn't really the second best now that Halloween Now is in the game now. But I still think that she's like top 5 red mage units, and I've been working on mine slowly. I've given her like Ral Raven just because I'm getting really tired of these bow units.
But isn't her defense awful?
It's paper, but I use her to initiate, not as an enemy phase unit.
I feel like you might as well just run Blade on her then if you're gonna initiate.
I like my units to be independent, and her job is to kill bow units. I might as well just slap everything that will ensure that she will kill a bow unit. So that's just me. Katria, she's less than desirable at this point. There are better lance units in general, and there's a better lance unit in flyers in the form of Cordelia
or Tana
or Tana if you are fortunate enough to roll her. But Katria, she just lacks everything that Cordelia provides. So she just pretty much avoid rolling blues if you want this banner. Pretty much B block is actually the better of the 2 banners in my opinion. We can go over Rajat now. Ilu, you were actually the only one who rolled Rajat.
Yes. Okay, her stat line is, I think she's like 3rd. She's a solid 3rd for green infantry mages, behind Nino and Summer Elise.
Really? Isn't it spread like the same as Soren's?
No, I think Soren's like maybe.
I think she's got the same BST, but like her emphases are put elsewhere. Where Soren can tank magic units competently, Rajat really can't, because her resistance is like super low, like compared to most green mages or just mages in general.
Wait, let me take a look at mine. Mine is dead. I'm sorry, I'm not like in the middle of a map apparently, and she's dead, so I can't see her. I think she has 27 res with Fury 3.
Yeah, I can check
which
Rajat
is
right now. She has a base of 21. No, it's 24 res base. And she has 27 with Fury 3. Yes. So it's actually quite low. Like, to put it in perspective, Katarina has like 34. 37 to 34, some ridiculous number like that.
I think it's 34, but green's also a good color. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Green is a good color, but
What's
I don't think like 27 probably leaves her like limping after like a Reinhardt initiation. She will kill the Reinhardt on return, but like she'll be limping.
Mm-hmm.
But who isn't limping after they?
Like she's not breaking any sword. She's not doing anything new.
Mm-hmm.
Her base kit is absolutely horrible. You kind of need to replace it.
King Gronwolf. Oh god.
Yeah.
I will say King Gronwolf is like, it has its uses.
For those of you who don't know what King Gronwolf is, it's just a +2 regular Gronwolf.
Yeah. +2 might, so it's got 12 might total, and it's effective against cavalry. Like, in farming the SP that I need to get her blade, I've just been using King Gronwolf because it's there. It's functional. Like, if you can't afford, like, if you don't have a Nino or you don't have the feathers to promote a Nino, you can still keep her like as a level 40 unit with King Gronwolf, and then just pull her into your arena assaults whenever there's like horses. She's gonna do work.
I think if you're just gonna do that, I think you should just save the feathers and run regular blade instead of the blade plus. Because like, what's that extra like 2-3 might gonna do for you when you've already got like 50 something odd attack going in on initiation? Really,
I mean, for me, I'm like kind of a stickler for that stuff, so
I guess you are a bit OCD. But for the before like viewers that don't want to shill out 20,000 feathers just for aesthetic wise and don't care about arena scoring, and because you're just using her as a sniping unit, it's perfectly serviceable to use a regular blade. Save the feathers if you are short on them. There's absolutely no need for you to go all in on a 5-star unless you have a backup like that you are specifically saving for the weapon to inherit onto something. Ilu, what are your thoughts on Rajat? Like, just solidly, she's the third best mage unit.
Yeah, like she's
in terms of green mages. In terms of green mages, you said she was third best, right?
Yeah, I think her stat line is a bit like she's got more offense. I think her attack value is higher, but her speed is it's in that awkward place. It's like I think 35.
It's 34.
34. Yeah, so it's like
in that spot where you can't really double anything, but won't get doubled by anything.
You need help to push her into like doubling range, but that's kind of fine because you're gonna run a blade build on her anyway.
And if you're gonna run a blade build, you almost always want someone like Green Azura, anyways.
Yeah, so it's I'm probably gonna finish her tonight, and I'm definitely gonna be using her because green's such a good color, and like she's not gonna be like a mainstay unit or like her base stats. Like she's not gonna be like a high scorer, but she'll have her use as like kind of just another green mage, and I'm never unhappy about that. So just I guess the one thing to note is that she's not like some new meta defining unit. She's just
a solid unit.
Yeah, she's just solid. She's more of what we've seen, and that's fine.
Is she a top 5 mage unit in general, though?
No, definitely not.
In green, yes. Generally, no.
Who would be above her? Silica, Naui.
So, I mean, Naui has different uses. Like Grimoire plus guidance is absolutely nuts.
I mean, yeah, but we're still talking. She still falls under the umbrella of mage units, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
So it'd be like Silica,
definitely
Naui,
not top 5.
Like Katarina's up there.
She's top 10, top 15, maybe.
I wouldn't say she's top 50. I think she's definitely top 8.
Is she top 8? Okay, there's Reinhardt, there's Lynn, there's like
Reinhardt, Lynn, Delty.
Deltia, Nino.
Like there's a lot at the top.
Henry. I guess. I
doesn't beat.
guess. I guess I was talking about infantry units then.
Yeah. Just infantry is top 10.
But then that's like basically what other infantry mages are there outside of like the 10?
Nino,
Like-
Saran, Merrick, like just garbage.
Sophia?
Like she's
She's-
not garbage.
She's the queen of the garbage. She's like kind of borderline, I guess. She'd be borderline between like garbage that is Merrick and like Sonia and like stuff that's good.
We don't talk about Merrick.
Yeah.
I would probably run Celica over Rajat.
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
Sokka.
but like.
I mean Cecilia.
Mhm.
It depends, right? If you've got horses at your disposal, yes, but if it's just Cecilia on her own, she's not doing much, right?
I feel like she's a better Grown Raven user than her. I don't know.
Raven?
Like
Raven, yes, but Blade.
Raven, yes, and I think Blade she might actually have an edge there as well with horse buffs.
Yeah, with horse buffs.
I just feel like overall, like
I think horses are just unfair in general, but
over
horses
Rajat.
are broken, as Kevin has clearly shown us time and again.
horses, horse emblem greatest.
Don't be sad if you don't pull her. You're not missing anything. That's
You
and if
can
you do pull
literally
her,
roll a 3-star Nino and it'd be better.
Yeah, but just one last thing about Rajat. She is. People are a bit butthurt. She is a bit butthurt that she's in a separate banner compared to all the other new banner that came out, which is the Children of Fate.
She's not a bonus unit either.
Yeah, but it's weird because she isn't. I don't think she's a Fates thing anyway. Does she even appear in Fates? I have no idea. But if anything, she's an Awakening character, since Tharja was a part of Awakening.
No, she's in Fate. She's like because then Tharja's like a stalker to Robin. Rajat is a stalker to Corrin.
I'm just gonna stop talking about actual vanilla Fire Emblem before I just get people angry more. So fuck that.
We don't. If you're coming here for Fire Emblem lore,
Fire Emblem Heroes, we're experts on that. Okay.
We're filthy casuals that don't play the main franchise games.
God damn it!
I think her art is nice.
Debatable. She looks like Tharja. I don't like Tharja. Whatever. I think Japan has weird taste.
She looks like a better Tharja.
She does, but I think Japan just has weird taste. Regardless, one more banner that came out last night, and it was the Children of Fate banner. 3 units came out with this one, and it is Shiro, the Blue Lance unit, and 2 red units, Siegbert and I don't know how to pronounce her name. Soleil. Okay,
come on, you talk French.
Outside of 9th grade, no.
Yeah,
and even
her name means sun.
I don't care.
Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah, sure. Do you guys have any specific unit that you want to start with first?
Wait, what?
Do you guys have any which unit do you want to start first with this banner?
Oh, I don't know.
I hope Soleil gets demoted to 4-star.
Okay, well, I guess we're talking about Soleil then.
All right.
Soleil is a infantry red unit who interestingly she has the second highest attack in the game. I wonder who beats her. I think it might be Roy. No, she's number 2 ranked in Game Press.
She's got 38 base attack.
Yeah. Who beats her then? Is it Ike or is it Roy?
Effie maybe.
No idea.
Effie has the highest attack in the game.
Oh wait, no, this accounts for all units then, right? Yeah, so it might be Effie. Anyway, but she still has a disgusting amount of attack regardless.
Yeah.
At 38 base at max level is ridiculous, and it only goes up to 41. When you have a plus attack IV.
She hits
on top, and
like a damn truck.
She hits like an absolute dumpster truck. She will run you over. Yeah. She's the first unit and only unit currently to come with Fire Sweep Sword, something that I've been actually wanting for a while now.
Fire Sweep Axe, where are you?
Fire Sweep Axe is still a pipe dream for Sam over here, but looking at her base kit, she has the Blazing Wind, which is her special skill is garbage. Fire Sweep Sword, she has Darting Blow, Drive. She has Drive Res, which only comes from Azura currently, Green Azura specifically at the moment. I think a lot of people are hoping that she gets demoted to 4-star, but I think now that we've seen all of the units. I think Rajat, if anything, is going to come at 4-star. But just to go back to Rajat again, if she does get demoted to 4-star, there's a high chance that we might actually get distant defense as a 4-star fodder now. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
It could be Soleil.
It could be Soleil as well.
Like she doesn't have anything.
It can also be both.
I mean, if it only one unit gets demoted at a time.
I just it could be both, but I just don't think it's going to do that.
But fingers crossed. If we don't get distant defense at a 4-star, then we at least get regular fire sweep sword,
which is it's
an
interesting avenue,
which is just as good. Yeah,
so I like that. Soleil, she's. I mean, if you want a fire sweep, the problem with red swords is that there's so many. Yeah, so definitely. She's joining a huge and a lot of them viable cast of very good red swords, and red's not even a good color. Red swords are not even it. I don't know. I'm not gonna pull for her, and if she gets demoted and I get her at 4 stars, I'll keep one. But I'm just, for me, I'm not. I don't. Fire sweep sword is nice, but I'm not gonna kick myself for this unit.
Yeah.
Her base stat's nice. 163 is 161 to 163.
Yeah, it's 162 if you get a completely neutral one.
Yeah. So I mean that's nice, but I don't know. There's just nothing super special. Fire sweep sword, which we talked about.
If anything, I will just inherit her for fire sweep sword. I don't think I'll ever use her as a standalone unit. As attractive as that attack stat is, I think it might be the highest of all sword units.
You need more than just attack, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not bad. She's got 38 attack, 35 speed, neutral. That's very solid. It's just
if you don't have any other sword units and you're desperate, feel free to use her if she's the only one that you've got. But moving on to the other sword unit, did you want to go over something about her?
Just quickly, I think offensively, there's just still more capable units. You want Ira, you want. I think Mia might even be more offensively capable than Soleil.
Definitely, and I think someone like Ike now is super good.
Mm-hmm.
In the past, I would say that Ryoma was actually better than Ike, but now that I've spent a very long time using both units now, I think I like Ike more than Ryoma now. Might be an unpopular opinion because there are a lot of Ike supporters. But yeah, that's just me. Unfortunate for you, though.
I like Ike more.
It's whatever.
On any phase.
Yeah, I just like his raw attack power.
Yeah. So I guess we'll move on to the other red sword.
Yeah, let's move on to the future king Siegbert, who is a cavalry sword unit, much like his father Xander. I got that much right in the lore. But that's because he told me he was the son of Xander, for fuck's sake. He's got a 156 BST, which is pretty solid for a horse unit, not gonna lie.
Lots of cavalry, yeah. It's good.
Yeah, I think Xander comes at 151 or 153, so he's actually stronger than his dad.
Not stronger, just different.
Well, he's on paper stronger than his dad, completely bare naked, bare bones, just stats-wise.
To put in perspective, Sigurd is at 158, 159. So this guy, he's just behind him.
He's slightly behind Sigurd, yeah, but Sigurd's got a bunch of tools to make him extremely strong, anyways. On top of his boosted stats for a horse unit. But as for this guy, I personally actually rolled him. I rolled him 2 a.m. in the morning. It was actually a bad mistake on my part, and I shouldn't have spent my 4 orbs on him. So yeah, I don't actually need a Siegbert. I actually just roll. I simply rolled this banner just because I probably need a bonus unit, and if anything, I want Siegbert because I have horses, and he's probably the most attractive unit out of all of them. I ended up rolling him, but it turns out it was a waste of orbs. But not only that, I actually got his worst IV spread, which is plus res, one of his worst, plus res minus speed. It is awful.
Kevin not getting lucky. What is this?
I got Siegbert. That's pretty lucky still.
I pulled Siegbert, but I pulled him at the worst possible.
Literally unusable.
It is so terrible. I think his only other spread that's worse than what I got is minus attack. But even then, you can kind of cover it with his ridiculous amount of attack bonuses, going specifically into his divine weapon, which is the Dark Great Sword. And it is a 16 might weapon like all divine weapons, but he gets a +4 attack and +4 speed on initiation. And he also comes with Death Blow. So when he initiates, he gets +10 attack and hits like a truck. Like if we're talking about like Soleil hitting like a truck, this guy hits just as hard.
Yo,
especially with horse buffs.
Speaking of like the banners, do you know who demoted from the last banner, or is that banner still going on?
No one.
What, the Farfetch banner? None of them are getting demoted. None of the Farfetch units are getting demoted. Are you kidding me? If anything, Loot would probably get demoted, but no, her base stat total is like way too high for.
It hasn't happened yet, so I mean, I don't think it's going to.
Nope, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think the closest comparison that everybody is drawing towards Siegbert is he better than Brave Roy, or is he comparable to Brave Roy if he's slightly worse? And I think that he is slightly worse than Brave Roy. I think Brave Roy's got a better stat spread in terms of what he does. Siegbert is more defensive than Brave Roy, but they essentially lean towards that nature of going in, sniping out a unit, and then like hopping out if they have Gale Force, or just straight up just obliterating a single unit and then just being done with the with the map, because your other units can just come in and kill the rest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he's definitely behind Brave Roy. Brave Roy has like that heavy blade built into his weapon.
Yeah, I think.
Is that right?
I think Siegbert definitely does have the raw attack power that Roy can reach, but simply doesn't naturally. But he's got that utility in his weapon that makes him better, personally speaking. Mm-hmm. And this is coming from someone who uses Brave Roy a lot. I have a +4 Brave Roy personally. I think he's just better than Siegbert. Just looking at it. But what Siegbert does have that Roy doesn't is a new skill called Attack Tactic. And it's an interesting skill. And what it does is any units that are within 2 spaces of Siegbert and have a movement type of 2 spaces or lower get an attack of 6 for that one turn, or get +6 attack rather. So it's kind of like a drive hone kind of effect, essentially, for infantry and armor units, and flying units essentially as well.
So I mean, closing thoughts on this guy. I think if you don't have a good red cavalry, so you miss Xander and you don't have Sigurd and you don't have Brave Roy,
the other forbidden name.
I mean, sorry, I don't know what I just said. I just spoke some name that doesn't exist, but he's not bad. Like, if he's all you got, you're not sad about it.
If my only criticism of this guy is that he's slightly worse than Brave Roy, that's still saying a lot about him, because Brave Roy is an excellent unit on his own. So if this guy's even like comparable, if not slightly worse than Brave Roy, he's amazing. I think he's pretty much the Rajat in this banner. Just like if Rajat is slightly less than Nino, that's saying a lot, because Nino is an excellent unit. And that goes the same for Siegbert if he's just a slightly worse version of Brave Roy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, moving on to the last unit. I think he's like the least explored unit. I haven't checked up on him at all. I'm seriously I think he looks cool. He looks like a guilty gear character, but
hero.
Yeah. So his stats are, he's got the same kind of weapon as Siegbert. Actually, sorry, it's slightly different. Plus,
it's completely different. It's like
plus attack. +4 attack and defense on initiation. So that's
no, it's not on initiation. It's when he gets initiated on.
No, it's a full. Oh, you're right. What is that?
Bright Naginata grants attack and defense +4 during combat if foe initiates the combat. So when he is being attacked.
Like, I'd be excited if it also had distant counter. It doesn't. So it's like.
Elu's doing his best impression of me.
He's like,
well, no. Like, that's just like an actual serious comment.
Yeah, why doesn't he have distant counter?
What is this gonna do for him? Like, it improves his baiting.
He's a better like Lucas.
I think
is he?
He's a more offensive Lucas. Is what he is.
Lucas isn't supposed to be offensive.
Yeah, both of them still get blown up by res, but like anything magic.
No, this guy just disappointed me. You guys can take this one.
Are there any redeeming qualities to Shiro over here.
I mean,
Other than
his skills, like this guy would be pure inheritance fodder for me. Swap.
yeah, other than his BST, let's look at his inheritance skills. He's got steady stance, which is
Good.
for those of you who have Black Knight or don't have Black Knight. It grants +6 defense during combat when this so he gets +10 defense when being attacked. It's ridiculous with his weapon, but he also comes with the opposite of Siegbert, and that's defense tactic. And at the start of the turn, grant 6 defense to allies within 2 space for 1 turn if the movement type is 2 or lower. So I think he'd be good on armor teams, just as another source of like being able to provide armor that isn't like a ward.
Wait, he's an armor?
No, he isn't, but he would fit on an armor team, I think.
Ugh. I'm just so disappointed in this unit.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't have the raw attack power of like Effie or something like that, but he does act as a good support for armor units, in my opinion. Just because he can reposition the armor units to the target, and he also provides a wide AoE buff. But like then again, like double spurs and drives do exist. So it all depends on how useful you think defense tactic is. So
but yeah, it's just like, why don't you just use Effie?
I think he is the most underwhelming character, despite being the coolest looking one. Which is
yeah, I like his art a lot, and that's a shame. But I mean,
very unfortunate.
If you happen to pull this guy,
Ryoma's son,
I don't know what you do with him. You just make you put like fortress defense on. I don't know.
I think he does what Luke does. Luke did. There was a video of Lucas of soloing the Grand Hero battle for Michalis. So if you're into that kind of shit, feel free to use Shiro in that regard, because he's quite similar in that fashion. I don't know. We went over Nephne, and like she kind of just does what he does.
I like Nephne so much more than this unit.
Yeah.
Like so much more.
There might be some way to like salvage him that we just can't see right now. Feel free to tell us if you're some sort of Shiro expert.
I read some like Reddit stuff. People seem pretty like enthused about him.
Confused?
What do you mean?
Enthused.
Oh, enthused. That's just people with like their
theory crafting is going crazy.
I don't know.
Theory crafting is strong in this one because he does have a very large BST. It's like higher than Lucina's.
I mean, Lucina
I think she has like 156, 158.
Who is Lucina?
The blue Lucina.
Lucina.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, I think hers is like 158.
Let me see.
Let me just check. Brave Lucina. He has a BST of she has 157 even.
Okay, but if you're kicking yourself trying to pull this guy just because of his base stat, like dude, that's not the right way. That's save your orbs, please.
He does have a bit higher base attack. It's just that I think he lacks speed. Is what he does. Is what he's like lacking.
He's just not. I don't know.
He has a higher attack, and like it's his weapon could be a lot better. Is what it all boils down to, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a divine weapon, and it's just so underwhelming. I don't know. It's
like a jacked up Burkitt's lance, is what it is, except for defense and not res.
I don't know. I don't know about this guy.
I don't know. We're conflicted on Shiro, but feel free to tell us how you would build him and how he's actually
Ryoma's son.
He's actually secretly the best unit in the game, and we're just too stupid to figure it out. So yeah, leave it in the comments below. Ryoma's son, tell us. Let's keep this very brief. Dylan, I know you're very, very, very excited about this, but the warrior maps were announced.
Oh my god!
Return.
Best news.
And you've literally been going on about it for like weeks on end now. You've been mourning about their deaths, and now they've reincarnated and come back like a phoenix from the ashes, ready to return and give you their warmth once again.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who are new to the game and don't know what the warrior maps are, it is the hot spot to train all of your new units. Forget about the chain challenges and forget about needing to spend 30 stam just for a couple SP. You are going to be spending 15 stam and getting like 200 SP per run. It is ridiculous. That's what the warrior maps are all about.
Yeah.
Why we're excited about them.
Literally like the easiest. Oh, can't wait. And I think I read somewhere the dates middle of the month. 15?
Middle of the month. All right. So it's projected to come out in a couple of like a week and a half from now.
Yeah.
Hopefully it does, and it's not trolling us. If it does, I think Yilu might actually be on suicide watch.
Please, I'll be happy.
But warrior maps, look forward to those because those are also free orbs if they do refresh them. Hopefully they do. But even without the alluring orbs as a prize, you should still participate.
Honestly,
you should still dump all of your
okay
SP in this shit.
if they just didn't put the orbs in and just like let us like farm SP. That's fine with me too.
Yep. Please, IS, just leave them there.
Leave them there forever.
Remove the training tower and make it just warrior grounds. Just let us train there.
We don't need anything else, or I don't need anything else.
Pretty much. But yeah, I think that's all the news that we have for you this week. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Kevin, also known as Cure, Yilonix, and Sam from the 37 times 2 podcast, and we will be seeing you guys sometime in the future. We don't know because it is getting close to the summer, not summer, but holiday season, Christmas. It is summer for you people who watch in Australia and New Zealand. But we'll figure something out. Maybe we might have something. Maybe we won't. We guys, we hope you understand that we do want to take a break sometimes. But until then, we will see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Later. Take care, guys.
See ya.